Okay, this video is kind of a big deal for me. I've wanted to talk about this for a long time, but today I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with having PCOS and gender dysphoria, question mark. I'm hesitant to call it that because I know that gender dysphoria is, from what I can understand, exclusive to trans people, and I'm not trans, but I feel like what I have experienced throughout my life can be compared to what trans people go through when they have gender dysphoria, and I'll explain that a little bit further as we go on. I want to give a disclaimer that when I am talking about gender and gender identity and masculine and feminine things, I'm talking about it in the traditional sense. I'm not saying that you need to be a certain way to be masculine or feminine, and I'm not saying that there's a right way and a wrong way to be masculine or feminine. I am just talking about the way that I've been personally conditioned by the media and things around me, and my peers and everything, and how that has all affected my gender identity and how I think about gender and how I think about my gender and how my PCOS correlates with that. I'm very nervous to talk about this. I have some bullet points, but I feel like I'm missing stuff, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to cover everything, and if I have anything to add, I'll include it in the description box or in a pinned comment. This isn't an educational video, this is just me talking about my personal experience also. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Starting off, if you don't know what PCOS is a hormonal disorder that causes cysts to grow on your ovaries, and those cysts cause your ovaries to produce more male hormones than they are intended to. And because those cysts cause the ovaries to produce more male hormones than they should, there is a significant link between PCOS and female to male transgender people because there's more testosterone in the body. It does cause your brain and your body to develop in a more typically masculine way. You're having lower female hormones and higher male hormones that are causing you to have more masculine traits, traditionally masculine traits. So me personally, how PCOS has affected me in the way that my body developed and the way that my mind developed. We'll start off with my body, though. We'll just start off with the body. I have significant body hair all over my body, literally anywhere you can think of. I obviously have a lower voice. It's definitely changed from when I was first going through puberty, but when I was going through puberty, you could definitely tell that my facial structure was leaning more masculine, and I will pop in a couple of pictures over here as like an example to kind of show what I'm talking about. It's debatable. Some people may say that I don't look masculine. I think I do. I don't get a period. I got my period maybe 4 or 5 times. But I think it's been almost 2 years since my last period. I got it when I first started birth control. It kind of triggered it, and then it kind of tapered off. And then I think I changed birth controls a couple of times, which triggered a couple more periods. But beyond that, I have not had a period in about 2 years. So, no menstruation. And I have slight male pattern baldness. It was worse when I was a teenager. It's definitely gotten better now, and I think that's because I've kind of gotten my hormones under control. But I did have a little bit of hair loss in these spots right here. It's better than it was. So, as you may see, my physical body is not necessarily the most feminine and not what you would expect from a woman. That's not to say that I don't look like a woman and I'm not perceived as a woman, but growing up, I was definitely not treated as such. I think that, like I said before, I think now looking at me and listening to me, my voice is a little bit higher than it was when I was a teenager. It may be due to me practicing to make it higher, or just the way things kind of worked out. And my face, I think, is a little more feminine than it was when I was a teenager. So I was bullied a lot as a teenager. I would get misgendered because of my voice. One specific time that really stands out to me is when I was at the doctor's. I was answering some questions from a nurse, and she wasn't looking at me when she was asking me the question. She was like writing down, like doing some paperwork or something, and she hadn't seen me yet. And so when she turned around, she kind of jumped, and she was startled and told me that she thought that I was a boy, and she was expecting me to be a boy. And so when she turned around, she was a little bit startled. I was probably around 13, 14 when that happened. It was really embarrassing and really hurtful. And there have been several occasions where people have accused me of being trans because of my voice. On Instagram, people have made comments saying that I'm lying about saying that I'm not trans because of my voice, because they're not used to hearing girls with a voice as low as mine, which I've personally learned at this point in my life that my voice is really not that uncommon. There are definitely lots of women with lower voices, but when you're a teenager and you're surrounded by other ignorant teenagers and also ignorant adults that don't really interact with anybody else that may sound like me, you get some ignorant comments. So yes, I've been misgendered because of my voice. My body hair, I have body hair pretty much everywhere except for the palms of my hands, my feet, like my T-zone, basic, but like everywhere. Like my back, my shoulders, my arms, my chest, my boobs, my stomach, legs, butt, all the way down to my ankles, toe hairs, everything. Just lots and lots and lots of body hair. And I got made fun of in school for that too. People would pull my shirt down in the back and make fun of my hairy back. I have hair on my face. I'll show you. I don't know if you can really see because the lights, but this is what the hair on my face looks like. I plucked my chin hairs, but I have a lot of really dark black chin hairs. My mustache has gotten worse over the years. I'll insert some pictures right here of like body hair and stuff. Very hairy. I'll probably make another video talking about that, going into a little bit more detail. But that's something that I've dealt with. Those are just a couple of ways in which I personally feel like I am able to relate to trans people in a way because they go through those same struggles. A couple other examples of how I feel like I relate to trans individuals. One is that mentally, like in my head, I want to be a girl. I know I'm a girl. I want to be a girl. I am a girl. There's no denying that. I am a female, but my physical body does not represent that in the ways that it should. I do have boobs. I have a vagina. But other than that, things just don't really line up. And I didn't really get to experience my adolescence as a typical girl may have, because my body and the way that others perceived my body did not align with the gender that I am and that I want to be and that I know that I am. I spent a lot of my adolescence fantasizing about being a girl, and I know that sounds silly because I am a girl, but I don't really know how to describe it. I just did not feel like I was a girl. When I would talk to my friends and, you know, we'd get together and have sleepovers and they'd be talking about like all the girl problems and like periods and like their body hair and I don't know, girly stuff. I couldn't relate. I couldn't relate, and I wanted to relate so badly. I wanted to be able to talk about periods. I wanted to be able to talk about like body hair in the same way that they could, because they weren't concerned about like growing a beard and like I don't know, having hairy butt cheeks and like back hair and hair on your shoulders and like your chest. Like they weren't worried about that. They were worried about their kind of like unruly eyebrows, maybe a little peach fuzz mustache, armpit hair, bikini line. Like that was like the extent of their worries. And that's normal. That's so normal. It is so normal to have body hair in those spots as a young girl. And I wish that that was like all I had to be concerned about. But when you're the only person that you know that is growing a beard, like it's so isolating and confusing. It feels so confusing because you look at the girls around you and you're like, I'm a girl. I am a girl. These are other girls. We are the same, but I'm still different. I don't know how to describe how that feels. I really don't. Growing up, I definitely believe that I overcompensated for me physically not feeling like I look like a girl by having very traditionally feminine hobbies and interests and like clothing and like the way that I carried myself. I was very adamant that the things that I liked were girly because I was very, very uncomfortable and very insecure being perceived as anything other than girl. I wore skirts, I liked pink, dresses, like frilly anything. My whole room was like done in like shabby chic, like pink flowers, really just like decked out in girly stuff. I did my makeup every single day before school. I would not go to school without makeup on. And I literally did everything that I could to project this feminine image to people. And I still got hit with people questioning me and judging me and doubting me and doubting how much of a girl I was. No matter what I did, even though I am a girl. I just felt like I had to constantly prove myself all the time, every single day. I know that male to female trans individuals definitely deal with much heavier and difficult pressing issues when it comes to their body not matching their gender identity. I fully acknowledge that, and I'm not saying that my experience is equivalent to that in any way. I'm just outlining the parallels so that you can kind of understand why I feel like I can relate so much. I spent a lot of time researching vocal feminization surgeries and facial feminization surgeries because I didn't think I was feminine enough. I wanted to sound more girly. I wanted to look more like a girl. In school, boys weren't interested in me at all. It was very difficult for me to get the attention of boys. They always wanted to date my friends, and the only time that I really ever did get anybody to date me is from me begging and them feeling bad for me and just giving in, which is pretty embarrassing. But nobody was really interested in me, and I knew why. I knew why. And it was just really hard. I don't know what else to say other than it was just really hard to want so bad to just be like the other girls and like not being able to do anything about it at all. Literally just being stuck in this body that you're in. It felt like I was like a prisoner in my own body. I was trapped. So now I'm going to talk about the dysphoria thing. I personally feel like I'm experiencing some sort of gender dysphoria because when I look in the mirror and I look at myself. I look at my face and my body and even the way that I carry myself sometimes, and I listen to the way that I sound. I feel confused. It doesn't make sense to me. Because in my head, I have this perception of myself of what I am and what I want to be and what I would like to see in the mirror. And then when I'm actually faced with the reality, I'm very confused and very hurt, and it physically makes me sick sometimes. When I look in the mirror and I have hair all over my face, it just feels wrong. It feels like I have somebody else's face. It should not be there. I should not be growing a beard. When I hear my voice, it makes me sick. I'm disgusted by the way that I sound. No matter how many times that people tell me that they like it and that it's soothing and nice and sultry, I just think I sound like a man. I straight up think that I sound like a man, and the amount of times that I've been misgendered because of it, there's not really much that can make me think otherwise. When I'm not wearing makeup and my hair's not done, and I just look at myself in like a raw, just like natural state, I personally feel like my face leans more masculine. A lot of the time when I'm wearing more feminine things, or I'm wearing makeup, or I'm just wearing like girly colors like pink and purple and whatever is traditionally feminine, whenever I'm wearing those things, I want to be wearing it. I like it. It makes me happy. When I don't look at myself, I feel cute. But the second that I look at a photo or a video or I look in the mirror, I just see, it's like I'm seeing somebody else. I don't know who I'm looking at. When I look at myself from an outside perspective, it just does not feel like me at all. I don't want what I'm saying to be taken the wrong way. But, and I'm not saying that this is bad or wrong, or this is just how I'm feeling, and not how I personally want to feel about myself when I look at myself. But when I'm looking at myself wearing girly things, I feel like I look like a man trying to look feminine, and I don't want to be perceived that way, and I don't want to think of myself that way. There's nothing wrong with looking masculine and wearing traditionally feminine things. I just personally don't want that for myself, and that's not how I want to be perceived, and that's not how I'm comfortable presenting. I just feel like sick thinking about myself sometimes. I just feel so ashamed. Nearly 100% of my insecurities are based on things that have been caused by my PCOS, and they're directly relating to my gender identity. I just feel confused. My body does not match who I am. Regardless of the fact that I have boobs and I have a vagina, everything else, to me, just doesn't add up. I know that I'm taking this out of context and I am misconstruing things, but you know how people say that you don't need a vagina to be a woman? That's how I feel about myself sometimes. When I hear people say that, it just makes me ask myself, like, do I count as a woman? Like, am I a woman? Like, I don't know. I want to be. I want to be really bad. That's all I want. But it just feels like everything's against me. I watch a lot of trans people on YouTube. One, because I like them as individuals. I really enjoy their content. But two, because a lot of the videos that they make, I can really relate to. Like, I can, on a deep level, I can connect with their struggles and their emotions. I've gone through a lot of the same things, and I'm not ashamed of that, but it doesn't feel good to be a cisgendered woman who can relate to trans people on such an intense level. Like, I should not be able to connect that much. I should not be able to be like, oh yeah, me too. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right for me, and it makes me feel confused and just not good at all. There's nothing wrong with being trans, but when you're not trans, you shouldn't be able to relate to trans people like that. They don't want to have to go through all of that. Nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to go through any of this. The final thing that I want to touch on in this video is my sexuality. I, personally, am primarily attracted to women. I have a boyfriend, and biphobic people will tell me that I'm in a straight relationship. I'm straight because I've never had a girlfriend. I'm not in a female with female relationship. I'm extremely attracted to women, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm totally cool. I love women. I think they're awesome. But that also messes with my gender identity sometimes, because I look at myself and I see a dude. I listen to myself, I hear a dude. I think about who turns me on and who I'm sexually attracted to. Women. And so I'm like, okay, how many more boxes can I check on the traditionally, like, male checklist? How many more boxes can I check? All I need is a penis. And getting TMI, PCOS, causes an enlarged clitoris. So, you can imagine how confused and insecure I felt about my genitalia growing up as an uneducated teenage girl that sees vaginas online that do not have large clitorises. And then I look downstairs and I'm like, am I growing a penis? Am I actually a boy? What is going on? So, I ask myself, how many more boxes am I gonna check? I have spent many days and many nights asking myself, would I be happier if I transitioned? Was I meant to be a boy? Do I want to be a boy? Am I just so in denial of everything that I won't accept what I truly am meant to be? Would my life be easier if I was a boy? People already think I am one. People already accuse me of being one. So, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Even, I mean, this is not even like, this is recent. Like, this, like, I go through this, like, in cycles. Like, every couple of months, I will just sit down and ask myself, like, do you want to be a girl? Like, is this what you actually want? Like, are you happy like this? Because, you know, I wear girl clothes, and then I look in the mirror, and I'm like, you look like a dude wearing girl clothes, and I put on makeup, and I'm like, you look like a dude wearing makeup, and I put my hair in, like, twists, and I put, like, little pink and purple beads at the end, and I looked at myself, and I looked at that picture, and I was like, you look like a dude that is wearing pink and purple beads in your hair. You look confused. And I'm not trying to enforce gender roles on myself, but again, with how I was raised and the media, I can't get over how I'm feeling. I can't just ignore it. I can't just be like, it's fine. Be non-binary. Like, just be, like, in the middle. It's totally cool. It's not like a big end of the world thing. Be who you are. Just be yourself. Don't think about gender. Just, like, be whatever. I can't do that. I'm sitting here and I'm trying and I just can't. I cannot do it. I'm confused. I'm just confused. I'm so confused. And it's just exhausting. It's so exhausting because I don't want to care and I just want to be myself and I just want to go about my life. But how are you supposed to go about your life when you're just like a walking fucking confusion? You know what I mean? I'm tired of having to think about my facial hair, and I'm tired of having to think about my body hair, I'm tired of having to think about my voice, but it's just constantly it's just in my face, reminding me I can't forget about it. I can't just move on. I can't just be myself. I can't just be myself because I have these things looming over my head that are making me so fucking confused about myself. I don't know who I am. I literally don't know who I am. I am lost. I'm lost. I'm so lost. I'm sorry that I'm going off right now. I'm just getting really worked up because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm just tired. I just want to be. You know? I just want to be. I just want to exist. And for some reason I can't. I want to play the blame game, and I want to blame the people that bullied me, and I want to blame the media, and I want to blame everybody else around me for conditioning me to feel like I need to be a certain way to be valid. But it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. I shouldn't be blaming anybody. It's me. It's my fault. I should just be able to get over it. It's not that deep. It's not that important. I have a boyfriend that loves me, that thinks I'm beautiful exactly how I am. He's so happy with me. He has never had any problem with anything that I've ever brought up in this video. Not a single thing. I have like amazing, wonderful friends that are so kind and so loving and so supporting of me. And nobody cares. Nobody cares about this as much as I do. Nobody cares. And yet I still can't let it go. I don't want to be a boy. As much as I question myself and I'm like, maybe you should just do it. Maybe you should just do it because you're not really going to feel any worse than you already do. And your body's going to make a little more sense. Probably not as much sense because I'm still going to have a vagina and boobs, which would have to be dealt with. But like the way you sound and blah blah blah, like all this, it'll maybe make a little more sense. I guess people will not misgender you anymore. So basically, the moral of this video, I have PCOS. It caused a lot of stuff to happen to my body that makes me feel confused about my gender. I'm making this so hopefully I can help somebody else feel less alone. That's always my goal with these videos, is to try and help other people feel less alone, because I know how alone I feel and I know how awful it can be, and I hate to think that there are other people out there that are going through the same thing. So that is the end of this video. I think I covered everything. I hope I did. I tried. There might be some things I forgot, and that's okay. I think I got the most important parts covered. This was not intended to offend anybody or make anybody upset. I'm not transphobic. I'm just talking to you about my personal experiences and my life and how I'm feeling about myself. So, thank you for watching. Please be kind in the comments. This is a really vulnerable topic for me. And I just want there to be positivity and love and support for everybody. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you're staying safe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.